Hello everybody, my name is Zach, and today I've got a remake of a previous video that I've made, and a few people had comments on, so I felt as if I should remake it, make it a little bit easier to understand. Also, I'd like to state that I'm sorry for the background noise. Got a washing machine going, so yeah, without further ado, let's get into the video. Now you see, I've been asked a question before: is God real? Or why do you believe in God? Well, in this video we're going to address that, and I'm going to explain to you why I believe that there is a God, or why I know that there is a God. So, let's go ahead. Alright, we're going to start off with math, science, and philosophy. And we're going to begin with Stephen Hawking and the quote-unquote Big Bang. Whatever you want to call it, doesn't really matter. The point is that it was established by Einstein's theory of relativity, cosmic background radiation, causality, and the second law of thermodynamics, and on and on and on, and it just keeps going. We know now that the universe had a beginning, and it's finite, and it has an end, but we'll get into that a little later on. The fact is that it had a beginning, and what we are arguing is what caused this beginning. Well, we know that for something to create, or for matter and time and space and all this to come into existence, we need something that is timeless, spaceless, and immaterial. There's really only two things that fit that criteria of timeless, spaceless, and immaterial. And the first one is we got abstract objects like numbers and symbols. Okay? And then we've got the unembodied, all-powerful being that is outside of time. Well, we know that abstract objects do not poof things into existence. Numbers, they're not causal agents. Okay, so numbers do not bring things into existence. That has been proven, so check it out if you do not believe me. So the only other logical explanation would be an unembodied, all-powerful being. Well, what has God been this whole time? What has God been? Well, in John 4, verse 24, it says right here, God is a spirit. Red lettering, bro. Red lettering. Now we're going to get into the tools for some Christians to use when you are asked certain questions. Now, after establishing what we just established, and we've done all our research and everything, some people will try and ask you a question like, who created the Creator? Displayed here. Who created the Creator? Well, your answer is very simple, and it goes a little bit like philosophy. And it's called, there is no infinite regress. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot that there's not an infinite regress. Things don't just go back infinitely in time, because we have a beginning, alright? It's not infinite. Aristotle proved this by showing us that we always end up at the unmoved mover. There's your answer, folks. Tell them to look it up if they don't believe you. You're welcome. Well, then they might come around and try to say something like, how do we know your God is the God? Because there's over 2,000 gods out there, or some ridiculous number like that. Well, I'm going to show you right here. So just as we humans have a unique fingerprint, you know, when we go and we get our fingers printed for a crime or whatever, they know how to identify us because each of our fingerprints are unique, none the same. Well, God has a unique fingerprint, and that unique fingerprint is called the Bible. Now, why is the Bible true? Well, there are many, many, many reasons as to why it's true, but I'm just going to give you one. And that's called fulfilled prophecy. Alright. Now, in this article, and I will put this article in the link, it will show you some things about the Bible that you need to know. So, I'm going to let you guys read this. You can pause the video and then read it. There you go. So after you guys have seen that and read that, you'll notice that it even gives a probability for a chance fulfillment. So for these things to be fulfilling by chance, it's pretty improbable. So you look at that right there, probability of chance fulfillment. So I'm going to give you guys that link so you guys can check it out yourselves and not just hear it from me. But I'm going to explain to you guys something. In the Bible, there's around, 2,000 prophecies, most of which have been fulfilled. 300 very notable ones, the ones about Jesus, have been fulfilled, and they were explained in great detail, hundreds of years before the prophecy was ever fulfilled. So it was explained in very great detail, and then it happened the exact way that it was explained. It wasn't something that was like a parable, and it was explained sort of in a weird way that you couldn't really understand. No, it was explained in explicit detail. It's ridiculous when you look at the prophecies. There's prophecies that have been fulfilling over the past couple of years. It's 2015, about to be 2016 soon, and we've had prophecies fulfilled this year, 2015, and this Bible was written, over 2,000 years ago. So that's something for you guys to really think about, because for it to be written by mere men, it's highly improbable that they had all of these prophecies, just guessing them and then them coming true in the exact way that they supposedly guessed them. So that's just one of many reasons to believe in the Bible. Here, I'm going to give you another. Many people try to say that they don't believe in God because of science. Well, here is science and the Bible. Okay, so we've got what? Statements consistent with paleontology. Statements consistent with astronomy. We've got meteorology, biology, anthropology, hydrology, geology, and physics. And then we've got all this proof in here. There's more than what's just in this article, but this is just to give you an idea. So let's scroll up to astronomy. Alright, so I'm going to let you guys read that right there. The Bible also says that each star is unique. There is one glory of the sun, one glory of the moon, and one glory of the stars. For one star differs from another. Now, how could they know that? Because they obviously could not observe this. You can read right here. Pretty sure they didn't have telescopes back then, and they just, even through a telescope, it's still, it's hard to tell the difference between the stars. So that's just one thing right there. We've got hydrology. The Bible includes reasonably complete description of hydraulic cycle. Well, there you go right there. Clearly telling us about the hydraulic cycle, where he draws up the water, which distill as rain from the mist, which the clouds drop down and pour abundantly on man. Yeah, well, how did they observe this back then? It wasn't until recently, in the past couple of hundred of years, I believe, that we figured that out. I mean, come on. It's pretty obvious. I'm going to put this article down in the description as well, so that you guys can come and check it out. There's another one that I want you guys to see. Here's another article. So, scientific facts in the Bible. Only in recent years has science discovered that everything we see is composed of invisible atoms. Here, Scripture tells us that the things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. And then there's the invisible things which are clearly seen by things that are made, or something of that nature. I had it in the last video, but you guys can do the research. So I'm going to put this link in the description as well. It's got a lot of good stuff in here. So you guys should check that out as well. There's no way that it was made by mere men. In short, we went over the Big Bang Theory and Einstein's theory of relativity, cosmic background radiation, causality, second law of thermodynamics, on and on and on. What confirms that we have a finite universe and the universe had a beginning. We also went over a few questions for for Christians that they should be able to answer, which is who created the creator? Well, the answer to that is there is no infinite regress, and we always end up at the unmoved mover, God. We also went over how do we know your God is the God? Well, we went over the fingerprint, the thousands of prophecies, that most of which have been fulfilled in great detail. Impossible for that to be written by mere men, or for them to just guess at it and it happen. Okay, that's funny. Then we've got these scientific facts that are in the Bible that were described in great detail thousands of years before they ever figured these things out. So those are just two reasons. We haven't even gotten to the spiritual side of these things that we see are clearly real once we start to truly seek God diligently with all our hearts. Alright, I guess this concludes the first of the series of videos that I'm going to be making. I'm going to be addressing anything that comes up. I'm going to address it, and you can ask questions, send me a video response, whatever you would like to do, and we will have a logical conversation. These are my proofs. This is why I believe in God. This is the evidence. The evidence, it's just like they say, these scientists are climbing this mountain. They're climbing. They get to the top and they realize that these philosophers have been there the whole time. And the philosophers are like, where you guys been? God is real, he's here. And the scientists are sitting there like, wow, it took us this long to get here. But the philosophers have been there the whole time. It's funny to me, guys. I hope that you enjoyed. Please give it a thumbs up because it lets me know that I'm doing a good job for the Christians. Even if you are atheists, give it a thumbs up if you want to. If you don't want to, doesn't really matter. Subscribe, whether you liked it or not, because then you can just watch me either make sense or make a fool of myself, and then you could laugh or you could really agree with me. So, whatever floats your boat, doesn't really matter. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Have an amazing and blessed day. Peace out, everybody.